Tom was a simple man. He lived far from the city, on land that had belonged to his family for 3 generations. His farm stretched wide, with golden fields of wheat, rows of corn, and a red barn that leaned slightly to one side. Most days were quiet, broken only by the sounds of clucking hens, mooing cows, and the steady rhythm of the windmill turning in the breeze. Tom liked this life. It was not grand, but it was steady. That evening, the sky above his farm turned strange. At first, Tom thought it was just another storm rolling in from the west. The clouds were heavy and the air carried a faint electric charge. He leaned on his pitchfork, looking up at the heavens, waiting for thunder to crack. But there was no thunder. Instead, the clouds split open with a sharp white glow, as if the stars themselves had drawn closer. Tom shaded his eyes with his hand. He squinted at a point of light that grew larger, brighter and lower. It was not lightning. It was not an airplane either. The sound that followed was unlike any sound he had ever heard. It was deep, like a growl hidden inside the earth, and it made his barn doors rattle. Then it happened. The light cut through the sky and descended like a falling star. It moved fast, yet with strange control, landing not far from his wheat field. The ground shook under Tom's boots, and his cows bawled loudly in their pen. Chickens flapped and scattered, feathers flying everywhere. Dust rose in thick clouds as something massive settled into his land. Tom dropped his pitchfork and ran toward the field, half in fear, half in awe. He had no plan. His legs carried him because he needed to see. His heart pounded harder with every step. When the dust finally cleared, he froze. Standing in the middle of his field was no machine he could name. It was a ship, sleek and curved, its surface gleaming like polished silver mixed with molten fire. Strange symbols glowed across its hull, glowing red and gold, shifting as if alive. It hummed low, like a great animal resting but not asleep. The ship's side opened with a slow hiss. A ramp extended, and from within stepped a figure that made Tom forget how to breathe. She was tall, taller than any person he had ever met. Her skin was pale silver, shining faintly under the fading sunlight. Long scales shimmered across her arms and shoulders, catching the light like gemstones. Wings folded tightly against her back, their edges sharp yet graceful. Her eyes burned like amber fire, ancient and unyielding. She was not human. Tom stumbled back a step, gripping his shirt as if it could shield him. His mouth went dry, but his mind kept repeating the same word. Dragon. She looked like the stories his grandfather used to tell, tales of winged beasts guarding treasure and kingdoms. Yet this was no beast. This was a woman, a dragon lady. The stranger's gaze swept across the farm until it fixed on Tom. She walked forward, her steps slow but certain, as though the earth bent beneath her will. When she spoke, her voice carried like the ring of metal and the whisper of fire. "You are the one," she said. Tom blinked hard. "What?" His voice cracked like a boy's. "You are the one chosen," the dragon lady repeated. "I am Serana, heir of the star-born flame. I descend upon this world for my tribute. And you, farmer, are he." Tom's jaw went slack. He pointed to himself, almost laughing in disbelief. "Me? I think you're mistaken. I'm just a farmer. I plant seeds, I milk cows, I fix fences. I'm not anyone's tribute." Serana tilted her head, her golden eyes narrowing slightly. She studied him like a hawk studies a rabbit, but instead of hunger, her expression showed certainty. "The stars do not mistake. The choice has been made. You are strong in spirit, steady as the land you walk. That is why you are my tribute." Tom stepped back again, his heel catching on a clod of earth. He nearly fell but caught himself. No, you don't understand. I don't know anything about you or your people or why you're here. I don't want to be part of this. I have a farm to run. This is my home." Serana's wings shifted, stretching slightly before folding back. The sight of them made Tom's stomach twist, both in fear and wonder. She was both terrifying and beautiful, like a storm rolling across the sky. "You resist," Serana said calmly. "That is expected. Many men beg for honor, but the true chosen one does not seek it. He stands firm. You have already proven the reason." Tom shook his head quickly. "I didn't prove anything. I didn't even do anything. You just showed up and decided I'm part of some tribute thing." Her eyes softened, though the fire within them did not fade. "You will understand in time. But know this, farmer. Your life will no longer belong only to this soil. The stars have claimed you." The words echoed in Tom's chest, heavy and hard. His farm, his animals, his quiet life. Was he to leave it all behind because some scaled stranger said so? He wanted to shout at her to tell her to leave, but something in her presence silenced him. She was power made flesh, and he knew she could destroy everything around him if she wished. Yet she had not harmed a single blade of wheat. The silence stretched long between them. Crickets began to chirp in the distance, and the last orange rays of sunset brushed across the horizon. The ship still hummed behind her, glowing faintly against the darkening sky. Finally, Tom found his voice again. "I didn't ask for this, and I don't want it." Serana stepped closer, close enough that he could see each scale glint like armor. No chosen one ever asks. The call comes and the heart answers. You fear it now, but your path is clear. Tom's fists tightened. I'm not going anywhere. For the first time, Serana's lips curved into the smallest of smiles. It was not mocking. It was almost approving. We will see, farmer. The stars wait for no man. Prepare yourself. The night will bring more than you know. Without another word, she turned, her wings folding tight as she walked back toward her ship. Tom's knees weakened, but he refused to fall. He watched as the ramp closed behind her, the vessel pulsing like a heart at rest. He stood alone in the field, the air still trembling from her presence. His cows were restless, his chickens scattered, and his own hands shook against his will. He looked at his farmhouse, warm light glowing from the kitchen window, and for the first time in his life it did not feel safe enough. Tom swallowed hard. He was just a farmer. But something far greater had come down from the sky, and it had spoken his name. The night was only beginning. The night after Serana's arrival, Tom could not sleep. He lay in his small bedroom above the barn, listening to the soft sounds of his farm. The wind whispered through the wheat, the cows shifted in their pens, and the crickets chirped in rhythm. Yet nothing felt normal. The sky outside his window was still clear and full of stars, but Tom kept imagining the bright light, the ship, and Serana's eyes burning like fire. He rolled over and rubbed his face. It can't be real, he muttered. It must be some kind of dream. But deep inside, he knew it was real. The tracks in his field, the clumps of trampled wheat, and the strange warmth in the air told him otherwise. His life had changed, whether he wanted it or not. Early the next morning, Tom went out to inspect the field. The crop damage from Serana's landing was significant. Golden wheat lay flattened in twisted patterns, and the soil had cracks where the landing shock had pressed deep. He knelt to touch the earth, feeling the vibration still lingering in his hands. You can't just leave like this, he whispered, more to himself than anyone else. Something is coming. I don't know what, but it's not going to stop. The wind shifted suddenly, carrying a strange scent. It was metallic and sweet, like the air inside a new machine mixed with something wild like fire and rain. Tom stiffened. The sound of wings filled the sky before he even saw her. Serana descended again. This time she did not land in the wheat. Instead, she hovered above it, her wings extended and glowing faintly. She was more magnificent than ever, her scales reflecting the rising sun, her eyes fixed on him with quiet expectation. Farmer, she called, her voice strong and even. You have questions. I will answer some, but you must listen carefully. Your world is not what it seems. Tom shook his head. I don't want to be part of anything. I want my farm. I want my cows. I want normal life. Serana tilted her head and a small gust of wind brushed past him, making his hair lift. Normal life is not a shield against destiny. You have been chosen because you are capable. The universe sees your courage, your strength of mind, and your determination. These qualities mark you as different from the rest of your kind. Tom took a step back, gripping a fence post. Different? I just fix fences and grow wheat. I don't fight wars. I don't lead armies. I barely know anything about the stars. Serana landed softly, folding her wings with a rustle. Her presence was imposing, yet she radiated calm authority. The stars choose differently than humans. Many who appear ordinary are extraordinary to the universe. Your heart is steady. Your mind does not falter in small dangers. That is enough for now. You will learn the rest. Tom's hands shook. Why me? Why not someone stronger, smarter, more prepared? Serana's eyes softened slightly. The strong alone cannot face the challenges ahead. They lack patience and humility. You have what the others do not. Your world may seem small, but it holds what is great. Humans are rare, and you carry the spark of creation. That is why I am here. That is why I chose you. The words made Tom's stomach twist. He wanted to reject her again, but something deep inside hesitated. He had always felt that he was ordinary, yet this being, this dragon lady, had seen something he could not. "What do you want from me?" he asked cautiously. Serana's gaze lifted toward the horizon. "I do not wish to take you from your home against your will. I am not a conqueror. My people are in danger, and we seek those who can bring hope. You, farmer, have the potential to inspire. That is why you are my tribute, not as a slave, but as a symbol of human resilience. You are proof that even the simplest among your kind can stand against impossible odds." Tom felt a chill. "Inspire? I don't even know how to do that. I don't want wars or battles or adventures. I just want to live my life." Serana crouched slightly, bringing her eyes level with his. "I do not demand your consent. I offer it. There will be a choice soon, but first you must understand the world beyond your sky. You must see the dangers and the hope that exist among the stars. That knowledge will guide your decision." Tom swallowed hard, glancing at his wheat field. The golden stalks swayed as if sensing the tension. He thought of his barn, the animals, the quiet evenings by the fireplace. Could he leave all of that for a life he did not understand? "You will come with me," Serana said softly. "Tonight I will return to my world. You may stay if you truly refuse, but once the stars call, you cannot hide. They will find you and they will test you. That is how the universe works." Tom's heart pounded. "Test me? What kind of test?" Serana's wings rustled like soft steel. "The kind that proves whether you are worthy. Not everyone passes. Many falter because they cling too tightly to the familiar. You, farmer, have a choice. You may prepare or you may resist, but the path will come to you one way or another." Tom clenched his fists, trying to calm himself. He could feel the power radiating from her, the weight of her presence pressing into his chest. "I don't know if I can do this," he admitted. "I don't even know where to start." Serana's gaze softened further. "You do not need to know everything yet. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is standing despite fear. You have that, or you would not be here." The sun had risen fully now, casting long shadows across the farm. Tom looked around, breathing heavily. His life had always been simple. Yet suddenly it seemed as fragile as a candle in the wind. "Tonight," Serana said, "I will return. You may prepare as you see fit. Think carefully. Your choice will shape what comes next. Remember, farmer, you are not alone. The stars watch and I will be with you, even when it feels impossible." With that, she unfolded her wings and rose slowly into the sky. The hum of her ship grew louder, then softer, until it was gone entirely. The field was empty again, yet the air still carried her presence. Tom sank to his knees, breathing heavily. He felt fear, awe, confusion, and a strange pull he could not name. He had never believed in heroes or destinies or things greater than himself. Yet now the universe seemed to have chosen him. Hours passed, and the sun climbed high into the sky. Tom went about his chores mechanically, feeding the animals and checking the fences, but his mind was elsewhere. Every sound, every shadow reminded him of her. Every movement of the wind felt like a message. As evening approached, he tried to make sense of what had happened. He realized that resisting entirely might be impossible. Serana had made it clear the stars would call him regardless. Perhaps it was better to understand than to ignore. That night, Tom sat outside, staring at the dark sky. The stars twinkled like distant fires, serene and constant. He could imagine Serana moving among them, searching for him, judging him, waiting for the moment he would take the first step. The air grew colder. The fields shimmered under the moonlight. And then he heard it, a faint hum, distant yet undeniable. It was her ship returning, cutting through the night sky like a silver arrow. Tom stood, heart racing. He knew the moment had come. This was the point where the ordinary world he knew collided with the extraordinary. His choice awaited him. The test had begun, and the first step into a universe far larger than his farm was just ahead. And yet, standing alone in the field, he felt a spark he had never known. Perhaps he was stronger than he believed. Perhaps there was more inside him than wheat fields and barns. And perhaps the dragon lady had seen that spark before he had. The hum grew louder. The shadows of wings stretched across his land. Tom clenched his fists, feeling the weight of both fear and determination. The farm boy was about to step into a world far beyond his imagination. The night had arrived, and with it, the beginning of a journey that would change everything. Tom woke with a start, sunlight spilling across his room. The events of the past 2 days felt like a dream he could not shake. Yet the flattened wheat, the strange glow on the horizon, and the echoes of Serana's voice told him it was real. He dressed quickly and went outside, finding the farm quiet. The morning air was crisp, carrying the scent of earth and hay. He walked through his fields, touching the soil, trying to find comfort in the familiar, but every step reminded him of her words. The stars have claimed you. By midday, a low hum returned, familiar and impossible. Tom looked up to see Serana descending again, this time landing gently near the edge of the farm. Her scales gleamed under the sun, reflecting soft colors that danced across the wheat. She stepped from the ship with grace, wings folded but still immense, and her amber eyes met Tom's. "You are ready," she said simply. Tom shook his head. "Ready for what?" "I still don't understand what you want. I don't even know your world or why I'm a tribute." Serana's gaze softened. "Then you shall learn. Come with me. Do not be afraid. I will not harm you, but you must see if you are to make sense of your choice." Tom hesitated. Fear tugged at him, pulling him back to the comfort of his barn and fields. Yet curiosity stronger than fear pulled him forward. He nodded, stepping toward her ship. The moment he crossed the threshold of the ramp, the familiar smells of earth and wheat disappeared, replaced by a scent that was metallic, warm, and alive. Inside, the ship was vast. Tom's eyes widened. Walls curved like the inside of a seashell, glowing softly with colors that shifted without pattern. Panels of light floated in midair, displaying images he could not immediately understand. The hum of the ship felt like a heartbeat, steady and powerful, resonating in his chest. Where are we?" he asked, his voice small. "This is my ship, traveler," Serana said. "It moves not only through space but through the boundaries of what your people call reality. You will see much that is strange. You must keep your mind open." Tom nodded, swallowing hard. "I don't know if I can. It's too much." Serana inclined her head slightly. "You will manage. Humans are capable of more than they know. That is why I chose you. You carry the spark that my people need." As the ship moved, the walls shifted, displaying holographic images of other worlds. Tom's jaw dropped. There were cities built from crystal, oceans that glowed with light from beneath, forests taller than mountains, and skies filled with creatures that moved like living constellations. "Are these real?" Tom asked, stepping closer to the floating images. "They are real," Serana confirmed, "and yet few humans have ever seen them. Most remain blind to the universe beyond their own skies." Tom felt a mixture of awe and fear. "Why show me this? I'm just a farmer. I can't help with any of this. I don't belong here." Serana approached, her wings folding slightly. "You do belong. That is what you fail to see. I have searched countless worlds for those capable of resisting despair, those who can inspire hope. You are one of the few. Your people may think you ordinary, but the universe has recognized your strength." Tom looked down. "I don't feel strong. I feel small. I feel afraid." Serana placed a hand on his shoulder. "Strength is not the absence of fear. It is standing despite fear. That is the lesson you must learn, and soon you will face challenges that will test your courage." They moved deeper into the ship, and Tom's eyes widened as he saw the chamber ahead. It was vast, circular, and filled with glowing orbs. Some floated high, others low, and each orb showed scenes of battles, peaceful worlds, and people who looked much like him. "What is all this?" Tom whispered. "These are visions of my people's history," Serana explained. "We have faced enemies beyond imagination, worlds torn apart by conflict. My people survived through strength, unity, and courage, but we are no longer enough. The fire of humanity is rare among us, and you carry it." Tom's mind reeled. "Me? How can I help? I've never fought, never traveled beyond this farm. I've never even seen another country." Serana's eyes softened, her wings flexing as if responding to his doubt. "The spark of courage does not depend on training or experience. It depends on heart. You have heart. That is why you were chosen. Others may fight with strength or weapons, but you will fight with spirit. And that is what is needed most." Tom swallowed, feeling a strange mixture of pride and fear. He wanted to argue, to deny it all, but the truth in her words struck him deeply. He had never thought of himself as special. Yet here was someone who believed in him, more than he believed in himself. Serana led him to a smaller chamber filled with strange, glowing symbols. "This is where you will begin to learn," she said. "Knowledge is power, and understanding is essential before action. You will see the realities of the universe and the threats that exist beyond your sky." Tom watched holographic images appear, Ships larger than mountains moved through space, carrying strange warriors with weapons that burned with energy. Planets were shown destroyed, oceans boiling, forests turning to ash. Creatures of unimaginable size and power attacked entire civilizations, and yet Serana's people fought back. "Why do you show me this?" Tom asked, his voice trembling. "It's too much. I don't understand any of it. I don't know how I can help." "Understanding comes first," Serana said softly. "Fear may grip you, but knowledge will guide your choices. You must see the reality if you are to act with purpose. You will not be alone. I will be with you, guiding you as we move forward." Tom nodded slowly. Each scene left him more awed and more afraid. He thought of his simple farm, his small house, the animals he cared for. The universe beyond seemed endless, full of dangers he could not imagine. Yet Serana's presence gave him a strange courage. Hours passed as she showed him more. He saw entire civilizations working together, inventing machines that could travel faster than light. He saw battles where courage and strategy overcame impossible odds. And he saw the failure of worlds that lost hope, where fear and doubt allowed destruction to triumph. Tom finally sank to the floor, exhausted and overwhelmed. I don't know if I can do any of this. I'm just me. I'm a farmer. That's all I've ever been." Serana knelt beside him. "You are more than you know. Humans have something rare among the stars, resilience. You endure even when life is difficult. You adapt. You act with courage when no one watches. That is strength. That is what makes you my tribute. Not as a slave, but as a symbol. You carry hope." Tom looked into her eyes, seeing no judgment, only certainty. "And if I fail?" he asked quietly. Serana's gaze hardened slightly. "Then I will guide you until you succeed. Failure is not an end. It is a lesson. Courage grows from trial. The universe does not demand perfection, only the willingness to stand again." For the first time, Tom felt a spark inside him. He realized that he had spent his life thinking of himself as small, ordinary, powerless. Yet here, in the presence of a being from the stars, he understood that ordinary could become extraordinary. Strength was not measured by size or skill, but by heart and resolve. Serana rose, stretching her wings once more. "Rest now. There will be time for learning and preparation. The path ahead is long, and you will need your energy. But remember, farmer, you are not alone. Even when you doubt, even when you fear, the spark inside you will guide you." Tom lay back, staring at the ceiling of the ship as the images of distant worlds faded. He felt a strange calm. The fear had not gone, but a small seed of courage had been planted. Perhaps he was ready, even if he did not know it yet. As he drifted into a restless sleep, he dreamt of fire and stars, of wings that spanned the skies, and of a dragon-like figure who spoke not with commands but with faith in him. He awoke with the first light of a new day, the hum of the ship still beneath him, a promise of adventure waiting. Tom was no longer just a farmer. The universe had called him, and he could not ignore it. He did not yet understand the full truth, but he had seen enough to know that his life, his choices, and his courage mattered. And with Serana at his side, he would face what was coming, step by step, learning to become more than he ever imagined. The hidden truth of the stars was no longer hidden. It had been revealed to him, and now he would carry it forward. Tom stood at the edge of the ship's observation deck, his hands gripping the railing tightly. Below him stretched a world unlike any he had ever seen. Mountains shimmered with crystal cliffs, rivers glowed like liquid light, and forests stretched beyond the horizon. It was beautiful, but Tom could feel the tension in the air. This was not just a world to admire. Something dangerous awaited. Serana hovered beside him, wings folded gracefully. Her eyes scanned the horizon, sharp and focused. "This is where your trial begins," she said. "You have learned much, but now you must show the strength I have seen in you. The universe does not reward knowledge alone. Action is required." Tom swallowed, feeling the weight of her words. "Action? What kind of action? I've never fought anyone. I don't even know how to use anything from your world." Serana's eyes softened slightly. "You will not fight as I fight. You will fight as yourself, using the skills you already possess. The universe has ways of testing courage that do not require weapons or machines, but you must act. Hesitation can be more dangerous than fear." Before Tom could respond, the hum of the ship changed. A red warning light pulsed and the deck shook slightly. In the distance, he could see movement. Strange creatures taller than trees moving swiftly across the glowing landscape. Their shapes were unfamiliar, but their intent was clear. They were predators hunting something or someone. Sarana pointed to a small village below. They threaten the people of this world. You will descend with me. You will help in whatever way you can. Remember, your strength lies not in might alone, but in courage, quick thinking, and resolve. Tom's stomach tightened. You mean I'm supposed to fight them? Me, I'm just a farmer. I barely know how to fight a fox for my chickens. Sarana's wings shifted, creating a faint gust of wind. You will learn. Step forward and do not doubt yourself. Trust what you carry inside. That is more powerful than any weapon. The ship descended, landing lightly on the outskirts of the village. The buildings were simple, made of stone and wood, but the villagers were panicked. People ran, carrying their children and livestock, while the creatures advanced, snarling and breaking through barriers. Tom's first instinct was to hide. His heart pounded and his legs felt weak, but he remembered Sarana's words. Trust what you carry inside. He took a deep breath, stepping forward. Follow me, Sarana said. She spread her wings and rose above him, her presence commanding. The creatures hesitated for a moment, startled by her. Tom used that moment. He grabbed a fallen branch, holding it like a staff. It was not a weapon, but it gave him something to do, something to guide his fear. He ran toward the nearest creature, which had cornered a villager. The branch shook in his hands, but he lifted it high, yelling as loudly as he could. The creature paused, surprised by his courage. Tom lunged, tapping its leg with the branch. It recoiled, confused by the farmer's boldness. Sarana's voice carried from above. Yes, use what you know. Confuse them. Distract them. Protect the innocent. Tom moved quickly, using the layout of the village to his advantage. He led one creature into a narrow alley where it could not move freely. Another he guided toward a fallen tree, using the obstacle to slow it down. Each step was terrifying, but with every action he felt his courage grow. The villagers began to see him not as a simple farmer, but as someone who could protect them. They shouted directions, helping him trap the creatures. Together they worked as a team, guided by Tom's quick thinking and determination. Sarana swooped down, her wings creating a powerful gust that knocked several creatures off balance. Tom realized he did not need to fight her enemies alone. His strength lay in using what he had, inspiring others and acting decisively. Hours passed and the creatures finally retreated, confused and defeated. The villagers cheered, rushing to thank Tom and Sarana. He felt exhaustion and relief in equal measure. His body ached, his hands were scratched and bleeding slightly, but inside he felt a spark he had never felt before. Sarana landed beside him, her wings folding neatly against her back. You have done well, she said. Not because you are skilled in combat, but because you acted with courage. You did not flee. You did not hesitate. That is what matters. That is why you were chosen. Tom shook his head, panting. I don't feel like a hero. I feel lucky that they followed my lead. Sarana smiled faintly. Courage is often mistaken for luck, but luck alone cannot guide others or protect the innocent. You have done more than you realize. Today you became proof of human strength. You are not merely my tribute. You are a symbol. Tom looked around the village, seeing the villagers begin to rebuild, their fear turning into hope. He realized that his actions had given them more than protection. They had given them confidence. A reason to believe that even ordinary people could rise to challenges. For the first time, Tom felt proud of himself. Proud not for power or glory, but for standing up when it mattered. Sarana's wings flexed once more as she rose into the air. There is still much to learn, Tom. The universe is vast and danger is never far. But you have taken the first step. You have seen what courage looks like in action. You will need it in the days ahead. Tom nodded, still catching his breath. I think I understand now. It's not about being strong or fast. It's about not giving up even when everything seems impossible. Sarana hovered above him, her eyes glowing softly. Exactly. That is the essence of what humans can achieve. Even the simplest among your kind can inspire greatness. Today you proved that. Remember it. Hold it inside you. The next trials will be harder, but you will not face them alone. As the sun began to set, the village safe for now, Tom walked beside Sarana back to the ship. His legs were tired, but his spirit was lifted. The farm boy who had doubted himself was no longer the same. He had faced fear, made decisions under pressure, and inspired others to act. He had learned that courage was not about size or strength, but about heart. Inside the ship, Tom sat quietly, replaying the events in his mind. He thought of the villagers, their eyes filled with relief and gratitude. He thought of the creatures, dangerous and powerful, and how he had faced them with nothing but determination. And he thought of Serana, whose belief in him had never wavered, guiding him without pushing too hard. The dragon lady approached him, placing a hand lightly on his shoulder. "You have grown today, Tom. Not just in skill, but in understanding. Remember this feeling and carry it with you. The universe will test you again, and you will need every bit of what you have learned." Tom nodded. "I will, I think I can do more than I imagined. I still don't know everything, but I know I can try. That has to be enough for now." Serana smiled, her wings folding gracefully. "It is enough. Courage begins with trying, not knowing the outcome. You have proven that. And that is why you are more than a tribute. You are a beacon." As night fell over the alien world, Tom looked out at the stars, feeling a sense of purpose he had never known. He realized that the farm he had loved was only the beginning of his story. Beyond the fields and the barn lay a universe full of challenges, wonders, and possibilities. And he was ready to face it step by step with courage in his heart. For the first time, Tom understood the truth Serana had tried to show him. Strength was not about fighting alone or being perfect. It was about standing up when it mattered, inspiring others, and refusing to give in to fear. That lesson would guide him through every trial yet to come, and the trials were only beginning. The farm lay quiet under the morning sun, golden wheat swaying gently in the breeze. Tom stood at the edge of his field, his hands resting on the wooden fence. Everything looked the same, yet nothing felt the same. His life had changed forever. He could still hear the hum of Serana's ship in his mind, and he remembered the courage he had discovered within himself during their trials. Serana's ship hovered silently nearby, wings folded as she watched him. She had returned from her travels through the stars, giving Tom time to consider the choice ahead. His chest tightened as he realized the moment had come. He could remain on Earth, keeping the life he had always known, or he could leave with her, embracing a universe of unknown dangers and wonders. Tom took a deep breath. "I never imagined it would come to this," he said quietly. "I thought I would live and die on this farm, never seeing anything beyond my fields. And now—" He trailed off, staring at the horizon. Serana's amber eyes softened. "The choice is yours, Tom. You have seen courage. You have learned the value of heart over strength. You have faced fear and acted despite it, but now you must choose for yourself. Will you stay or will you journey beyond your sky?" Tom clenched his fists, his mind racing. He thought of the farm, the barn, the animals he cared for, and the quiet nights under the stars. This place was familiar and safe. And yet he remembered the villagers they had saved, the world Serana had shown him, and the spark of courage that had grown inside him. He had tasted the feeling of making a difference, of standing where fear once held him back. I don't know if I can leave everything behind," he admitted, his voice trembling slightly. "This farm is all I've ever known. It's home." Serana stepped closer, her wings brushing the air gently. "Home is important, but home can also be carried within you. Courage, hope, and the ability to inspire are not tied to one place. They travel with you wherever you go." Tom looked down at his hands, remembering how they had shaken when he first faced the creatures, how they had become steady when he led the villagers to safety. He realized that the farm had taught him patience and responsibility, but the universe had taught him something else: confidence, leadership, and the power of spirit. He met Serana's gaze. "If I go with you, will I be able to help? I mean, really help?" Serana nodded. "Yes. You are not going as a follower, but as a partner. Your courage, your quick thinking, and your heart will guide those who struggle. You will inspire not only my people, but others who will face impossible odds. The universe needs humans like you." Tom's mind flashed with images of the glowing planets, the towering creatures, the battles he had witnessed from the ship. He remembered the villagers cheering, their faces bright with hope. He could feel the thrill of standing up when others faltered, of making a difference. I never thought I had it in me, Tom said softly. But I guess I do. Maybe I can do more than just tend wheat and milk cows. Serana's eyes gleamed like fire. You have always had it, Tom. You just needed the chance to see it. Now you understand that ordinary humans can achieve extraordinary things. The sun rose higher, casting long shadows across the fields. Tom thought of the life he would leave behind, but he also thought of the life he could have. Adventures, among the stars, helping worlds in danger, inspiring hope wherever he went. He realized that staying would keep him safe, but leaving would allow him to grow, to truly use the courage he had discovered. He took a deep breath, feeling the wind brush against his face. I will go, he said finally, his voice steady. I will join you, not as your tribute, but as your equal. Serana's wings unfolded in a graceful sweep, lifting her slightly above the ground. Her expression softened into a smile, one that radiated pride and approval. Then it is decided. You will walk among the stars, Tom, carrying the spark of humanity wherever you go. Together we will face the challenges ahead. Tom followed her onto the ship, feeling a strange mixture of excitement and nervousness. The ramp lifted, and the farm below began to shrink in his vision. The familiar smell of earth and wheat was replaced by the metallic warmth of the ship, and the hum of the engines vibrated through his chest. He looked out at the horizon, watching the world he loved fade behind him. As the ship rose into the sky, Serana spoke softly. You will face many tests, many dangers, but remember, your courage is your strength. The universe does not demand perfection, only the willingness to act despite fear. Tom nodded, feeling a confidence he had never felt before. I understand. I won't let you down. I'll do my best. And I'll keep learning. The stars stretched before them, vast and endless. Tom felt a sense of wonder, unlike anything he had ever known. He saw glowing nebulae, planets spinning in brilliant colors, and distant suns casting light across the darkness. For the first time he realized how small he had been, how limited his perspective, and yet how much he could grow. Serana flew alongside him, her wings catching the starlight. Do you see, Tom? This universe is not only vast, but it is alive with potential. You are now part of it, and your choices will matter more than you can imagine. Tom took a deep breath, letting the hum of the ship and the endless stars fill his mind. I see it now, he said quietly, and I'm ready. I'll do what I can. I'll face whatever comes. The ship traveled farther into space, and Tom began to feel a new sense of purpose. The lessons of the farm, patience, responsibility, care for life, combined with the courage he had discovered during his trials. He understood that he could make a difference no matter how ordinary he had once thought himself to be. Days passed as the ship moved among the stars. Serana guided him, teaching him about her people, the threats that existed in the universe, and the ways humans could contribute. Tom learned quickly, not because he was a soldier or scholar, but because he had the heart to act and the courage to try. During this time, Tom also learned to trust himself. He made decisions in small emergencies, assisted in navigation, and helped plan strategies for protecting vulnerable worlds. Each action strengthened his confidence. Each success proved that humans, even those who seemed ordinary, could achieve extraordinary things. One evening, the ship approached a planet under siege by hostile creatures. Serana looked at Tom, her eyes steady. This is your moment again. Not as a farmer, not as a student of the stars, but as a human who can inspire others. Lead when it matters. Protect when you must. And remember, courage is more important than power. Tom nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility, but also a sense of readiness. He knew fear would always be there, but it could not stop him. He had faced fear before and acted. He would do it again. The ship landed, and the familiar rush of adrenaline filled him. He looked at the people below, seeing panic and despair. He remembered the villagers, their gratitude, their hope restored by his actions. He knew that today he could do the same for this planet. Serana placed a hand on his shoulder. You are ready. Trust yourself. You have already proven what you are capable of. Tom took a deep breath, gripping a nearby tool as he stepped forward. He felt fear, but he also felt the spark of courage burning brighter than ever. He would act, he would inspire, he would face the unknown. As he moved into the battlefield, leading the people and facing danger, Tom realized that his choice to leave Earth had been the right one. He was no longer just a farmer. He was a human capable of extraordinary deeds. He was a symbol, a beacon of hope, and proof that even the simplest among humans could rise to the challenges of the universe. And with Sarana beside him, guiding and supporting him, Tom knew that the adventures ahead were only the beginning. The stars stretched endlessly before him, full of challenges, wonders, and possibilities. He would face them all, carrying the lessons of home, courage, and heart with him. For Tom, the farm boy who had once doubted himself, the universe was now his canvas. And he was ready to leave his mark.